All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all glory and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Honors and salutations to the hopeful elect, pushing his word in truth and sincerity. All right, this is the brother Tawab Rakha from GMS Los Angeles / Inland Empire. Come back with another video in the spirit. And once again, Thawadi Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, for opening my eyes to his truth. Allow me to wake up another day and putting the spirit on me to do another lesson in hopes to edify the hopeful elect. Okay, so in this video, what I want to go into is going to be real quick, not going to be too long. Basically, I'm going to speak on the Israelite woman, okay? In particular, the so-called black woman, okay? Because here in this society, Babylon the Great, these black women have been exalted. They have been put on the pedestal, and it's scriptural, it says, the scriptures say a woman shall compass a man, okay? And in this society, these women have been given all sorts of liberty, to do whatever it is that they please. And that's not how the Lord set the order up on the earth, man. A woman is supposed to be underneath the rule of a man, a husband, her husband, and these women here, primarily here in America, they've been given all that liberty to gad abroad. So now these women are haughty. They're very proud, arrogant, okay? And a lot of them are, where the majority of these women are whores, They sleep around with multiple men, okay? And when they get up in age, they want to call themselves trying to, go to church and act as if they this clean, righteous woman, but their whole life they've been, living in whoredom, enjoying the benefits of the society because of their whoredoms, and the time is coming where the Lord is getting ready to cause all those things to cease, man. And you proud as women, especially our women, the so-called black woman, the so-called Latino woman, Native American woman, and all you women, period, because even these women of these other nations, they come to America and they get proud too. A lot of these women, and these women in America, all these women, it doesn't matter what nationality they are, all these women in America are proud as hell. The Lord's getting ready to kill that pride, man. Very soon. Okay, when all hell breaks loose, all that shit is gonna be, all that pride gonna go out the window, man. Especially you so-called black women, because you the only women on the planet that openly disrespects your men, okay? You look at the women of the other nations, they don't do that. Even the women of the northern tribes, the so-called Latino and Native American women, they don't disrespect their men publicly like you do us, but your time is coming, man, So with all that being said, I'm gonna bring out the scriptures of the Lord when this is edifying. So like I mentioned before, the Lord set up an order, and Esau, the so-called white man, this damn devil, he's giving these women too much freedom, man, and that's why everything's out of whack. So I'm going to start with Genesis chapter 3, verse 16. It says, "Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children." Right, and this is referring, going back to the account of Adam and Eve, This is the punishment the Lord put upon Eve, because she was beguiled by the serpent. She was taking heed to the serpent, and basically rebelling against the Lord, man. So that was the Lord punishing Eve by telling her she's going to bring forth children in sorrow. That's why these women, when they give birth, they have birth pains. Okay, it's not a pleasant experience when they're giving birth to a child. Okay, it says, in sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. You see that? So a woman's desire is supposed to be towards her husband. You should your desire should be to please your husband, okay? And your husband to rule over you, to have authority over you. And in this society, that's not pushed, okay? In this society, it's the opposite. They want the woman to be above the man. Okay, the man, is supposed to be the one that has desire towards the woman and have the woman rule over him. Okay, and that's why when you look at a lot of our people, when you look at the household, when you look at the broken families, okay, no men in the home, you see how chaotic it is, man. When you go through these certain neighborhoods where Jake dwell, you can see that neighborhood is totally chaotic because there's no authority. There's no authority in the households. Okay, and ultimately, these are, the curses that fell upon us, for not being obedient unto the Lord's words. So those curses fell upon us, but you see where the effects are when there's no man, especially a righteous man. When there's no righteous man in the household, those are the results, man. And you see all these women, they walk around, these young women, these young girls, they dress like whores, because they look at these women, these female rappers and R&B singers, and they dress a certain way. They dress in a whorish attire, so they think it's cool to dress that way. And then they be out here walking, roaming the streets all throughout the cities, during the nighttime, and it'll be late, and you will see teenage girls just walking and roaming in the streets like everything is all good, and they dress like whores. And it's crazy because a lot of these women been getting, brutally put to death, man, because the Lord he got spirits created for vengeance out here. So you women that, that be roaming the streets at all times in the night, that's not wise. You're a bunch of damn fools for doing that, man. And when you get put to death, we don't feel sorry for you because your stupid ass shouldn't be out, roaming the streets like that, man. But anyway, let me get back to back in Genesis chapter 3, verse 16. It says, unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow in thy conception, and sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. See? So the man's supposed to have authority over the woman, not the other way around. Okay? So you women that got this attitude, you thinking, you don't need no man, that's bullshit. And the Lord's going to show you exactly when all hell breaks loose in this society. See, a lot of you women are catching hell now because, you see what's going on with this economy. A lot of people are getting laid off, okay? The cost of living is constantly rising. Rent is constantly rising. Mortgages is constantly rising, okay? Things are getting more and more difficult, man. It's getting more and more difficult to get by, man. People used to be able to scrap, what's the word I'm looking for? People used to be able to figure out ways to scrap on by, but now, things are much more difficult now. People are having to resort to shacking up with each other, man. Families shacking up with one another because people are starting to realize that so-called American dream is all bullshit, man. Okay? So when all hell breaks loose here, like really breaks loose, and all these stores, all these businesses close up, and and you have a shortage of food out here, you women are going to feel it, man. You're going to feel it more than the man, okay? Because men can adapt, but you women, you're going to be in serious trouble, man. Okay? All right, I got Isaiah chapter 32, verse 9. It says, "Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech." Talking about you Israelite women, you so-called Negro women, you so-called Latino women, you so-called Native American women, okay? Those of you that are ease in the society, this is directed towards you, man, okay? You think because you got these plush jobs, you may be making six figures, okay? You got a nice little house set up. You living comfortably here in this society, okay? Or you got multiple men taking care of your needs, okay? While you play a whore, okay? So you think you in good case. You think everything's all good. You think everything's all lovely. But trouble is coming your way, man. Okay? Evils is coming your way. All right? It says, "Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women." And and the Lord said, you are careless women. You are careless women. Like I said, you got young women, young girls walking the streets all sort of hours of the night, dressed in very revealing clothing, okay? And you got all kind of creeps and weirdos out here in these streets. They don't give a damn about how young you are, okay? They don't care if you got a man. They don't care. They just don't give a damn, man. If they see you and you're alone, you have no help, you have no body there that looks like they can protect you, you're going to be in danger, man. Your life is in danger, okay? But when all hell breaks loose here, it's going to be much worse than that. You won't have to worry about a stranger out there, out and about in the city, because when martial law is declared here, when you got all sort of troops throughout the streets cutting off these cities, a lot of you women are going to get ravaged. You're going to be taken by force, man. Okay? And there's nothing you're going to be able to do to stop it. Okay? And that's going to be, and that's judgment from the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Okay? So that attitude, all that shit is going to go out the window, man. Even for the men. Because you got a lot of men, they act like bitches. They act like women. So it's about to get real ugly out here, man. Okay, and it may seem like we all, we just talking, but you best believe everything that we saying is going to come to pass, man. You know, and it's going to be too late to try to get your act together then, because now is the time to get your act together, man. But we understand the majority, are slated to be judged, But those of you that can hear this, receive this, you better repent, man. Okay? It says, many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, and the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. Right, because a lot of y'all been living off this system. Y'all been enjoying the goodies, the benefits. A lot of you been giving those the Section 8, the food stamps and whatnot. And all that shit is getting ready to stop, man. All that shit is about to run its course, man. And you ain't gonna be in that comfortable state, anymore. You're not gonna be in that mode of, you being a whore, you using the system. You got multiple men taking care of your needs, okay? Just being a goddamn cesspool, man. That shit is up, man. And you disrespecting the so-called black man, okay? Constantly bad mouthing us. All that shit is getting ready to come to an end, man. Okay? And you had that video recently, these evil ass black women, they want us dead. They want the Israelite man, particularly the so-called black man, to be erased, man. They want us to be exterminated. But guess what? You dumbass black women, that's not gonna happen. Okay? Now the so-called white man, he's gonna be exterminated. He's gonna be erased. Okay? Pursuing Obadiah. That's who's gonna be erased, okay? And majority you black women, you're gonna be destroyed here in this society. You're non-salvageable, man. You can't be rehabilitated for lack of a better word. You just gotta be destroyed, man. Okay? And when you come back, years down the line in the kingdom, you're going to be in your right mind. You're not going to be in that spirit of coming up against your man. Okay. All right. Got Isaiah chapter 3 verse 16. It says, moreover, the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai saith, because the daughters of Zion, talking about our women, these Israelite women, mainly you black women. Okay, it says, because the daughters of Zion are haughty and walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet. Right, because like it says, you got those wanton eyes. You proud. You walk around switching. You basically you being a flirtatious demon, okay? All right, it says, therefore the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion. That's why you black women, okay, you can't, you have trouble growing your natural hair, man. That's why a lot of y'all gotta wear weaves and wigs. Now we're in this day and age, a lot of you black women, you say fuck the weave. Now y'all just putting wigs on now, man. That's how bad it is now. You got young women in their early 20s, even late teens, they got fucking wigs, man. Okay, they don't even have. Because I remember when I was a kid, I remember black women, they used to put those extensions. They used to braid their hair, put the extensions in their head, you know, or they'll put the straight, the weave, basically, you know, they'll put clip-ons and whatnot. Now they don't even do that. They say fuck that. They these black women today, they so damn lazy, they just throw a damn wig on now, man, you know, and call it a day, you know. That's how you know this is referring to our women. You know, this ain't referring to the so-called white woman, okay? This ain't referring to the so-called Chinese woman, all right? So on and so forth. This is referring to our women, man, the Israelite woman. All right, it says, moreover, the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai said, because the daughters of Zion are haughty and walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet. Therefore the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai will discover their secret parts. In that day the Lord will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments about their feet, and their coals, and their round tires like the moon, the chains and the bracelets and the mufflers, the bonnets and the ornaments of the legs, and the headbands and the tablets and the earrings, the rings and nose jewels, the changeable suits of apparel, and the mantles and the wimples and the crisping pins, the glasses and the fine linen and the hoods and the veils. And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink. So the Lord took all that beauty away from our women. Okay, the Lord took all away, the jewelry, the ornaments, all those things. You know, because once upon a time in the ancient world, our women, even today, our women are beautiful. Okay, the Israelite woman is bad. You know, but even imagine in the ancient world, they were even badder. You know, imagine the black woman, so-called black woman, with all her hair, you know, in all her glory, you know. The Lord basically stripped that from our women, okay? But in the kingdom, they're going to get all that back. They're going to get all that back. They're going to get all that beauty back, you know. It says, and it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink, and instead of a girdle, a rent, and instead of well set hair, baldness, and instead of stomacher, a girding of sackcloth, and a burning instead of beauty. Right? Because, like I said, these women, our women, the so-called black woman, she has to put wigs on, okay? A lot of them, they got that pouch, you know, that gut, okay? And a lot of our women, they stink, you know, because, you know, that twat, like I said, they've been sleeping around with multiple men, so that their box, that koba, that shit is funky down there, okay? So all women are totally in the lowest state, just like the Israelite man is in the lowest state, okay? But like I said, I just brought all that out just to show you women that the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai is getting ready to humble you, man. Okay, especially when all hell breaks loose, you ain't gonna be able to go to all these beauty salons. Okay, you're not gonna be able to have all those makeup kits where you can cover your face, cut the mask, what you really look like. All that shit is gonna be gone. It's gonna be through. So you gonna be out here looking toe up, man. Okay, when you can't get your hair done, you can't get no wigs. You know, you can't put no makeup on. Okay, you can't shower. like that, you know, you're gonna be out here looking bad, man. Okay. All right, I'm gonna get one more and I'm gonna wrap it up. Bear with me 1 second. This is Micah chapter 7, verse 10. It says, "Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is the Lord thy God? Mine eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets." And that's what's getting ready to happen to the majority of you Israelite women. Okay, because the majority of our women are enemies, man. They're our women. We don't. Majority of our women are the enemy, man. They're enemy right along with the Esau and other nations. Okay, and these 2/3 niggas out here too. Okay, so you, like I said, the Lord's getting ready to humble you Israelite women. Okay, He's getting ready to humble and kill that pride, man. Okay, because a lot of you have been deceived. You've been deceived by this devil to actually think that you have some power here. You don't. Esau just used you as a tool to, to basically destroy our nation, man. Which, it's all prophecy at the end of the day. But we're in a time frame where the Lord's getting ready to turn the tables, man. The Lord is turning the tables. Okay, and you so-called black women, you putting your trust in this damn devil, it's gonna be unto your shame and your confusion, man. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of that. So like I said, Lord willing, I pray this is edifying to you sincere brothers, as well as you few sisters out there. Stay strong, keep fighting, man. We almost out of here. So with that, I'm gonna give all glory and praises to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem HaKodash, the honors to the apostles and the elders of great millstone, honors and salutations to the hopeful elect, pushing his word, truth, sincerity. Shalom.